So Alex Pereira has recently dropped a video on his YouTube channel where we're going to hear some interesting notes from his coach, Lee, who's kind of his striking coach. And then we're going to break down some of the pad work that Alex Pereira has in this video. And it's not just some video where like, hey, man, you're going to break down pad work. Like, we know Alex Pereira hits pads great. He's a great striker. No. This is very telling pad work. This is almost revealing Alex Pereira's striking game plan in terms of what he's going to be doing to Jamahal Hill. And if you're like, how do you know that? Stick around because I'm going to show you and we're going to break down this pad work and we're going to get a glimpse of what Alex Pereira is going to look to try to do and utilize against Jamahal Hill in his matchup at UFC 300. But let's first start here at about 1:50 and hear for a short period here what his coach says they are currently working on and the idea of the pad work, because this is kind of interesting getting to hear from a coach of how they're really preparing a high-level fighter like Poatan to get ready for a challenge against a guy like Jamahal Hill.
Mais canhotinho, hein? Mais canhotinho. Ele joga de 10, mas muito pouco.
O que está planejando o trabalho de hoje?
Já começar a estratégia voltada pro oponente dele, né? Já estudei o Jamal, né? Todos os pontos fortes, todas as brechas, né? Todas as possíveis brechas e tudo mais. E já começar a aplicar. Para chegar lá na hora, sair automático.
Now, that's very interesting. So normally, whenever you're kind of hitting pads with your coach, like there's some things you're working on. The whole idea of hitting pads is people just think, oh, you're just hitting pads to get in shape and just throw punches and kicks, which that's kind of part of it. But when you're preparing for a fight and you're really in a fight camp, it's drilling those techniques and moves and different counters and things that you're working on that you're going to look to implement into your game plan when the action hits the fan, man. When you're in there and the bullets are flying, so to speak, and you're in there and things are happening, you almost feel like you're floating, and it's going to come down to those reactions and the different things that you have built up throughout your camp that you're going to fall back on. But when we go ahead, I'm going to mute this because I'm going to slow the footage down so we can really take a look and see what is actually going on here from Alex Pereira. But obviously, yeah, there he is. Training with, we got an ad here, but training with Poliana Viana. Obviously, maybe there's a little something going on there between them, but that's for us to, I guess, figure out later down the line. I don't know. All right, let's hop into this. So in terms of the playback speed, we'll put it on 0.5. That should be good. Okay. Now, what I want you to pay attention to and watch is look at the pad holder here, the Coach Lee here. Look at him in the southpaw stance. Now, normally, if you've ever seen Alex Pereira's pad work on social media, he's very, he posts his stuff all the time. This is an orthodox guy, his coach. He's not a southpaw. So for him to go into the southpaw stance, it's backing up what he said at the beginning of the video, which is this is going to be about strategy. Now, I'm going to play this and kind of narrate over it as we go since there's not going to be any audio. But just watch some of the things here that we're going to be seeing from Alex Pereira. So working on that 1-2, which is obviously something he always likes to use. He steps in, throws a good hard 1-2, which is most likely going to be the money shot. Setting up the jab, because the way Alex stands, right? The way he stands and keeps his elbows nice and tucked, it's very hard to see when that left hook is coming. That's something that Alex Pereira does such a good job of. And when he's doing this here, throwing that jab, pulling back and countering, these are all very important things to note in terms of going up against a southpaw like Jamahal Hill. They're working on countering the jab of Jamahal Hill. There it is. Boom. That calf kick. As I mentioned in my breakdowns before, instead of just throwing that rear leg and beating up that lead calf, it's going to be a little bit different. Boom. There it is again. It's a little switch kick because Jamahal Hill's going to be a southpaw out of that opposite stance. So everything changes when it's orthodox versus southpaw. There's the left hook. So they were working on the 1-2 the whole time, right? They're working on the 1-2. And then here he goes. He steps in again. Boom, boom, boom. Sharp left hook. And there's that calf kick. Like, just you're getting to see everything that they're building on here is not just, oh, we're throwing pad work and we're just kind of going through the motions. This coach is pretending to be Jamahal Hill while they're working on this pad work. And there it is. Bang. There's that switch kick. Boom. Slide out of the way of that left hand. So they're anticipating that when Alex tries to throw that switch kick, as I mentioned in my X's and O's breakdown that I'll link down below, they believe the counter of Jamahal Hill is going to be him trying to step in and throw that left hand against the low kick. Because you'll hear coaches say that. Anytime if you can't check the kick, you just kind of step in, eat it, and then throw a right hand or a backhand right down the middle and sink on a power shot to try to deter them from throwing that switch kick. But there it is, man. You're getting to see the game plan here of Alex Pereira, and you can say that this is a reach, but it's really not, guys. Like, here it is. 1-2, stepping in. There's the switch kick, and working at all of these combinations that they are working are all things that you would utilize against a southpaw. Now, Alex has fought southpaws in the past. He hasn't fought a ton of them. And what we've seen against southpaws is, one, there's that jab to the body. So this is an important thing to watch. He loves that jab to the body. Boom. And he slips his head off the center line. And why is he doing that? Well, to set up that devastating left hook that he throws. And when there's a southpaw versus orthodox matchup, those lead hooks are a lot harder to see when it's kind of winging around that lead shoulder. And you can see it there. Look how he's setting that up. Guys, this is all very, very telling things. I'm telling you right now, this is how he's going to be trying to set up Jamahal Hill. There's the jab cross down the middle. They're anticipating the counter left hand of Jamahal Hill. Out of the way, boom, counter with a right hand right down the pipe. So two big things they're working on. One, the setups they're looking to use to land that left hook, either to the body or to the head. How they're planning to attack the leg of Jamahal Hill, considering he's going to be a southpaw, and then how they are going to counter the left hand of Jamahal Hill. And you see that there, that little side step, slip off to the side, pull back, boom, right hand. There it is. So bang. There it is. Boom. Countering the left hand of Jamahal Hill. Bang. There it is. That body kick that Hill throws. Catch, block, drill a right hand to the body. Here it comes again. Block. Boom. Right hand to the body. And if you did not watch the Jamahal Hill versus Glover Teixeira fight, it's on YouTube right now because of UFC. You know how they put up the free fights? Check that out. Jamahal Hill, one of his best weapons, it's kind of underrated, is his rear kick. He throws a good one to the body, and he also throws it to the head as well. And we saw him rock Glover quite a few times off of that. So there they are, planning for that exact thing. Since it's an orthodox versus southpaw guy, Jamahal Hill is going to look to blast that rear kick to the body. So they're preparing correctly for that, obviously. But here it is, jab to the body, step in, pull back. A little bit of confusion there. But this is, I'm telling you guys, this is so interesting that they would put this on the YouTube channel, because Jamahal Hill is a guy who, he's on YouTube. He's watching this stuff. And if I'm watching, now granted, Jamahal Hill could sit there and watch this footage. We can sit here and watch this all day long. But when you get in there, you make the walk, you're in front of that crowd, it's going to be quite a bit different, obviously, because you have to implement the game plan when it's live and in action, right? So it's always a little bit different. And Alex Pereira has been doing this for a number of years, guys. Like, he's been putting out training footage and going in there and starting people with the techniques he's putting out there. But look, Jamahal Hill also switches to orthodox. So now they're game planning on, okay, if Jamahal Hill if we beat up that lead leg and he switches stances, here's how our game plan changes. There's that nasty jab to the body that he likes. It's beautiful how he gets his head off that center line, just like that. And then bang, there's that sweeping calf kick that he throws. And notice the way that Alex throws those. He just almost like it's just very Dutch style, right? And he just kind of sweeps his leg around. It's like a hybrid of a kick and a sweep. And that's how he's so sneaky and technical with that. It's just watching this guy, man, just enjoy the fights and the time of this guy competing, because he is really one of one in terms of the striking. You know, I mean, just look at the way he throws that. It literally is almost like a foot sweep. It's like a rear leg foot sweep. And then working that kick to the body. Boom. There it is. The way he just kind of squats down on that lead leg and just kind of, you know, sweeps that foot out there and just touches. He's not grunting and sinking into it. You see that? It's just a little, just kind of a boom. And he's touching that calf. And that's what we've seen him use time and time again in these fights. And look, you can tell the coach, man, he was even saying at one point in this, he's like, my calf, dude, you're hurting my calf, you know? And there it is. Look how he just sweeps it's just beautiful. And the way he steps in with the 1-2, kind of tripping you off balance, and then he just steps in with a good hard 1-2. So what we're seeing here, guys, and that's kind of the gist of what I wanted to show you. The bottom line is this. Alex Pereira has been a guy who's went out there, uploaded training footage online, posted all over his social media. And John Jones has even made the comment before, don't show him too much, champ. This guy doesn't care, man. He's like, you can study and know exactly what I'm going to do. He's like, I can tell you that I'm going to throw a left hook and I'm still going to land it. That's how Alex Pereira approaches fights. He's a super high-level striker, man, and he does not get the credit he deserves, right? And I know that he's became widely popular and he's became, you know, this big star. But back when I've watched this guy throughout his entire career. And one thing I can say is Alex Pereira, when I discovered him, he was, he was kickboxing against Dustin Jacoby, who's also a UFC light heavyweight at this time. It was when Poatan had a shaved head and kind of shaved a design into his head. He was a lot younger. He was not a good kicker back then. He was all about the boxing, all about throwing his hands. And to see the strides that this guy has made in terms of the technicalities of overall striking, in terms of the kicks that he's implemented into his game, this man is dangerous. He is a lot smarter in terms of fight IQ than what people realize, ladies and gentlemen. I know that everyone's like, oh, this big Michael Myers guy who stands there like, and it's just this big, scary Brazilian. Yes, that's part of the character. That's part of the act. But everything that you're seeing him do in this video, high-level setups, high-level strategy, high-level chess that this man's going to be playing in there with against a very game opponent in Jamahal Hill. I just see this as being something where Alex is kind of playing chess at a little bit of a different pace than Jamahal Hill is, to where he's going to be seeing a lot of openings against Jamahal Hill. Jamahal Hill is a talented fighter. He does have devastating power. He is ferocious, but I just think he leaves too many openings for a guy like Alex Pereira. But if you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor, like this video, comment your prediction down below. If you made it to the end of the video, comment Shama, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already, if you want to see more content like this. I appreciate you all. See you next time.